What's up, everybody? Just a quick reminder, you still, of course, can get ISOM cover sheet over at Rippaverse.com. A lot of questions about that. People seem to think that just because they missed out on the campaign, they still can't get it. They still can get it. There is a cover available. Again, Rippaverse.com. You can get the 96-page book, ISOM 1. You want to go ahead and get caught up as we gear up for ISOM 2, coming very, let's say, soon enough. Today, though, I want to talk about this topic here. Now, we've talked about this man before, because obviously the state of Colorado, let's say he's being weaponized, or the state itself is being weaponized to punish this man, have him out of a bunch of money just for simply using or expressing his right to private property, that is. Now I'm gonna get you caught up on, before we go to the actual story here. Let's get you caught up with an update. If you could bear with me for 1 second here. Cool. All right, I'm gonna blow this up and we're gonna take a look at it real quick.
To pay a $500.
All right, let me back it up. There we go. Cool. All right, let's listen to this. It's coming from, I believe, CBS.
He refused to bake a birthday cake for a transgender customer. The customer, a transgender woman, requested a pink cake with blue frosting from Masterpiece Cake Shop and its owner, Jack Phillips. He refused, saying baking that cake would be forcing him to express messages that violate his beliefs. Well, the customer says she was illegally denied service because she's transgender. Phillips says he plans to appeal the decision again. You may notice the name. His cake shop has been involved in other similar cases over the years. He is known for getting a partial victory at the U.S. Supreme Court in 2018 when he refused to make a wedding cake for a same-sex couple.
Okay. Now that the story in itself, is just about as goofy as it can possibly get, right? It's, hey, this guy owns his cake shop. This is his private property that we are dealing with, and they want to have him be forced essentially to provide service and that he doesn't want to. Now, however, it looks like he lost the appeal over this particular cake. As an update right here, I'm going to give you my thoughts in a minute. The Colorado baker who won a partial U.S. Supreme Court victory after refusing to make a gay couple's wedding cake because of his Christian faith lost an appeal Thursday in his latest legal fight involving his rejection of a birthday cake celebrating a gender transition. Okay. The Colorado Court of Appeals ruled that the cake Autumn Scardina requested, I'm guessing that's the person that wanted him to make the cake, from Jack Phillips and Masterpiece Cake Shop, which was to be pink with blue frosting. So I'm guessing in the form of kind of that transition and maybe even that transgender flag or whatever, is not a form of speech. It also found that the state law makes it illegal to refuse to provide service to people based on protected characteristics. Race, religion, sexual orientation does not violate the business right to practice or express their religion. Absolutely, that's hack stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. Relying on the findings of a Denver judge in a 2021 trial and dispute, the appeals court said Phillips' shop initially agreed to make the cake, but then refused after Scardina explained that she was going to use it to celebrate her transition from male to female. We conclude that creating a pink cake with blue frosting is not inherently expressive any message or symbolism. That's a gaslight. It provides to an observer, would not be attributed to the baker, said the court. So long story short, and this guy has been going through this for a while. You had the gay couple that tried to sue them, made it a big powwow, went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And obviously this is a case of someone trying to do a similar thing. I'm sure there are plenty of cake shops you could take your busted behind probably over to the Kroger's or the Walmart, and they'll get you a cake as well. But this guy in his cake shop, he does not want to do this, and he shouldn't have to. And I'm going to be blunt as I possibly can. It's the same case that I've made, or point that I've made when talking about this issue before. Now, again, this is the state being weaponized to punish this man. They see kind of blood in the water. This is why they went to him in the first place, knowing that they might get denied, and, of course, suing him in that regards. People And this is the part that's going to be disconnected from guys who don't really understand the concept of private property, or they're real flaky on it, right? Sometime wish-washy on it because it's been ingrained in their mind, definitely coming out of the Civil Rights Act. When they hear that term, everything that came out of it had to have been positive, is the way that they look at it, especially when it comes to law. This is the reality. Private property, what is that? What is capitalism? Let's talk about that. It's the private ownership of goods and services and the free and voluntary exchange of those private goods and services. All rights extend from private property rights, as the great Rothbard once said. I hate to do this, but I have to, because there's going to be people in the comments, there's going to be people that view this video that are going to try to twist what the term or concept of rights actually means. And because they think of it as something that is government granted, they think that there are other rights, and they don't understand what private property rights. And when you hear somebody say that, they think that, oh, you're just talking about my Jujutsu Kaisen book that I have right here. That's private property. No, private property rights starts with oneself, and that is that every person owns their own body. This isn't a new concept. Rothbard, of course, talked about this, but this is a concept that has been explained for centuries, right? Where you, as an individual and a free individual, own yourself and your body, and therefore nobody has obviously a right to aggress upon you. So in the terms of private property right, you can look at something like violence being, let's say like physical violence, that is, being a violation of someone's private property rights, even though it's dealing with someone's body, because that's a harmful, let's say, bodily invasion. Look at it like that. All rights extend from that. And if you don't have that, well, you don't have certainly rights at all. And certainly with this is dealing with labor. Essentially what the state is saying is that this person should be required to work for someone else by way of use of aggression, essentially force the state. Right. So they have a right to that, is what they are assuming wrongfully that they have. And this is all these states have these. You have obviously the Civil Rights Act, but all these states often, and we talked about Oregon and we talked about these other states that have these like civil rights acts within their own state. And often they cover stuff like that, where basically you can't deny anybody service for those reasons. Well, if this was a just society, if you will, you'd be able to deny people for whatever reason that it is. And you get folks would say, well, you're black, right? Well, what if people denied you service because they're black? Yeah, they have a right to do that. It's their private property. Oh, I can't believe you said that. We're going back to the 50s and 60s, where people will have signs on their door and saying that they don't serve blacks. Yeah, I would prefer that they do that. That way I'm not giving my money. See, this is what the Civil Rights Acts have allowed these people to do. The actual racists, they get to hide behind these like the laws, right? So, you're basically going and making these exchanges with people that hate your guts. I'd rather you tell me. Hell, maybe I open up a business right across the street from your stupid behind and take your money, because I'm the one that will accept everybody's money, as opposed to not want. Like, see, there's ways around this that can be voluntary, but this is what rights. These you might not like the way people express it, but that's what rights are. The ability to be able to express it, the rights are contingent on that. And if they can't, well, you are denying. It's not them not having a right. More accurately putting it, you're denying them the ability to express their right. You're impeding upon their right to private property. People, and it doesn't matter if it's because they don't like the fact that your nose is built the way that it is. They don't like the fact that, you got one eye. They don't like the fact that, you came in the store walking funny. It does not matter what it is. Doesn't matter, right? You too hairy. You got hair on your shoulders like me, a man, right? Too much testosterone flowing through you, right? Doesn't matter. They have the right to deny you service because that's their private property. For whatever reason, it does not matter. Now, that doesn't mean you have to agree with it, right? But this shows you that this is a game, right? These guys are acting as if they would much rather these institutions be forced to be enriched by them, because that's not what this is. This is about punishing a person who, on his own beliefs, does not want to make that style of cake. And he shouldn't have to. But you have these tyrants, little petty tyrants, who believe that the state should be utilized to punish their ideological enemy. And this happens in courts all of the time. And this is why these court systems, definitely in America, are amongst some of the most rotten, though you like to think of it as this sort of advanced nation. This is insane. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app. Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.